The purpose of this research is to gather the stories and the experiences of women Coady graduates who are working in their communities in regards to helping to create peace in their communities. Like, women's stories aren't necessarily out there, or it's hard to find, and women don't always get opportunities to tell their stories.
I do it for the present generation, and I do it because I have a vision that together we can create a better world.
How is your journey in peace building?
How is my journey?
Yes.
How do people define peace?
Well, the thing is, I have a master's degree in peace studies. So do you want the official, like the absence of hostility and violence definition, or do you want?
I want the official collude definition.
Oh gosh, that's complicated. I don't think of peace as something that is separate from two other concepts, and these are justice and dignity. So I think peace is, like, from the global definition, of course, it's like harmony and absence of war and violence, but at the same time, I think to have like proper active peace, we have to ensure that people, whether like wherever they are, that their dignities are being protected, and that they're treated as human beings, as people who have dignity and who have rights. And at the same time, it cannot happen on the basis that people's justice and people's rights are degraded. So I see it, for example, within my community at a small level, as the absence of conflict and harmony, and like within the family, I see it. At the same time, when I think about like peace on the level of Palestine, I think of it as something that cannot happen unless there is proper justice and proper human rights.
Peace means just unity, togetherness, and then to also be able to united come together as one family, one united family, and then also understand each other, and also to relate, to be able to also to relate each other's views.
Right.
When you do that, it brings peace, and then we accept each other.
It starts from the family before it goes out to the community and into the world. So to me, peace is a word that touches all aspects of life.
To make like the world more peaceful, in this idea you said about the peace is that also that everyone is accountable about the things they do. Everyone have like this better life.
Right. Yeah.
Like the life you want to live, because they say to us that a good life is one kind of life, but we think that we have a different perspective about how our life is. So I think the work we do, it's about that. It's about the problem is that they make us to say it out loud. We need to scream about this. But what we are asking is to have the right to decide, to say which is the life we want.
Right. Yeah. And
to not to follow the rules they want to make us, to give us. Right. Oh, yeah, we are asking for the respect of our self-determination,
Right.
And if we can have that, we have peace. Because if a community is able to decide what is happening in their territory, so this community it have sovereignty and have a strength, and it's a peaceful community, because between all of them they can decide what is the kind of life they want?
It comes from my own, first, it comes from my own personal history.
Right.
It also moves from my own experiences and narratives, even to where I am presently, in this space that I'm in presently. And it's because of the hundreds and thousands of people like myself who continue to be excluded from the decision-making tables, who continue to be excluded from vying for public office, who continue to be disenfranchised, who continue to be subjugated, oppressed, and abused, not just locally, regionally, but the global brutalization of women. I understand firsthand the struggles that women experience, especially when they are at a disadvantaged position. So I understand what needs to be put in place to help, and not just help, but support women in a collective way. There's this culture of violence and a culture of the acceptance of violence. Even though you may have persons speaking out against the violence, when you look at their behaviors at an organizational level, you see degrees of violence being perpetrated. So the culture of violence as a norm is also a challenge. To work with groups of people to change their acceptance of violence.
For me, peace is well-being. Personally, for me, is everything is more than happiness. For me, is this sense of well-being, this connection with others, with the world. I don't know if this sounds so utopic, but for me it's a type of connection with everything, with the environment, with the people, with your colleagues, with everything. It's this connection, but a connection which is fluent. It's not like based on fear, which is not based on guiltiness. It's a truly and honest connection. And it's this sense of well-being. It's this for me, peace also fits me to improve everything in my life, to be a better person, to work better, to do not judge, to be part of the community.
One cannot just talk about peace as like an abstract thing. I think it is something that needs to be built within, like as a proper educational tool. And that is why, for example, when I taught the youth within the Refugee Youth Forum, we had a whole module on peace, and on peace within Palestinians or within one's own family and one's own community. Because I believe that if we're talking about peace on a country level or a state level, first we need to understand on like the personal level what is peace, and at the same time how can each individual person participate in the building blocks of the larger like peace, I don't know, picture.
What is one achievement or something that makes you excited, that something you're proud of about the work that you've done?
For me, it's my own self-evolution as an individual and as an emerging leader, because having this self-evolution will position me in a place to be a more critical, analytical, and inclusive leader for the future, for the present and the future, and to understand how to truly adapt but not conform. So I think it's my own process of self-evolution at all levels, from the spiritual level to the physical level to the educational and academic level, and you know, that entire process, that for me is one of my greatest achievements